Hi, I'm Matt Granfield, founder of a charity called Spare Keys. Up until recently, I didn't know much about homelessness. In fact, I could barely even pronounce it.
Homelessness.
I thought homeless people were all drug addicts who lived under bridges, but I was wrong. They're not. Most homeless people actually live here. Well, not here, this is my house, but I'm talking about suburbia. Most homeless people are women from the suburbs of Australia, and they're homeless because they're fleeing domestic violence. They've got jobs and kids, and they're used to paying the rent or a mortgage, and the reason they're homeless is because they're fleeing a really bad situation. Most likely, they're sleeping in their car. If they're lucky, domestic violence victims will find home in a shelter for a few nights, but what usually happens is they call up the domestic violence hotline and say, hey, are there any rooms available? And the answer is no. All the rooms are full. It's tough finding crisis accommodation in Australia. It's not just women either. Plenty of whole families become homeless due to cyclones, floods and bushfires. In Cyclone Debbie, tens of thousands of people had to evacuate. In the Victorian Black Saturday bushfires, 5,000 people were left homeless for a year or more. Because Australia is such a big country, heaps of families end up driving hours from the bush to treat their kids when they're in hospital. Often there are places to stay. Usually they can afford a hotel. Heaps of families can't, so they end up sleeping in their cars. These guys do a great job. They're always full. But it's going to get better because there's 3 things we can do. They've never been done before, and if we do them right, we can permanently end the shortage of crisis housing for homeless people in Australia once and for all. Thing 1 is making empty hotel rooms available to homeless people. Did you know that in Australia every single night there are about 25,000 empty hotel rooms? If we can make those available to homeless people, we could house 1/4 of Australia's homeless population. Now, at Spare Keys, we've already been doing this for a little while. What we do is we take the spare hotel rooms and make them available to women's refuges and homeless shelters via a booking engine. It's a bit like an Airbnb for crisis accommodation. We've been doing this since January and it's going really well. The hotel industry has been getting on board and we've been changing a lot of lives that way. If you've got a hotel and you want to help out, go to sparekeys.org. We'd love to hear from you. If you don't have a hotel, let's be honest, not many people do. I don't have a hotel, but if you've got a spare room, I've got a spare room, lots of people have those, or a granny flat or an Airbnb listing, what you can do is register your listing or your room on sparekeys.org and we can make it available to crisis accommodation referrers. So as long as it's insured and safe, you'd be good to go. You don't even have to give it away for free. People will cover the cost of cleaning and toiletries. All you got to do is go to sparekeys.org and sign up. How easy is that? I'll wait for you. The third way you can help is if you've got a little bit of spare money. And by spare money, I mean specifically $22. What you can do is take that money and help us buy a house where homeless people can live until they get back on their feet. Governments all over Australia have been trying for years to find ways to create new homeless accommodation, and they always complain there's not enough to go around. As a result, there's a huge shortage of homeless accommodation in this country. So let's not wait for the government to solve the problem, let's solve it ourselves. We're running a crowdfunding campaign right now to help us raise enough money for a deposit on a house in Sydney. Once we've got enough for a deposit, we're then going to open up a whole new way of creating housing for homeless people in Australia. In September 2017, the laws around crowdfunding are going to change, and private individuals will be able to invest anywhere up to $10,000 in crowdfunded equity projects. We're going to use this change in the law to allow people to invest in real estate specifically for homeless people. We'll crowdfund the property, rent the property out for a really affordable rate, and sell it a few years later. The investors will get the return and the capital gain. What it means is, you'll be able to invest in Sydney real estate for the price of smashed avo on toast. There's not too many charities who say, give us some money and we'll give it back to you later. And there's not many ways you can invest in the Sydney property market for the cost of smashed avo on toast. But we're going to do that. If you want to get on board, help us out with a donation to go towards a deposit, and you'll be the first to know when you can actually invest in September.